Fellas, I apologize that this is later than usual. I ran some errands with Lexi after work. I was waiting on some videos, and then I did my other video, and then I got some trade talks going on, and I traded for Bijan, which was sick. Honestly, I know it's like, oh, no one cares about your other league. My team in this other league is so good. Like, I will share it with you guys upon request. It's unbelievable, and it makes up for my sadness in this league. Anyway, week 10 is already here. And the thing, honestly, that I love about our league is that this year we have a last place punishment, so everyone is fully checked in, whether you're fighting for a bye or you're fighting to not shoot 1,000 3-pointers. Like, Rory and Derek play each other this week. That is a massive game that normally would not really have any implications. So I'm very happy we added it. I finally get back in the win column. I'm very juiced up right now because I just made this trade, and I'm pumped about it. We'll hear from our winner of the week first because our boy Benny D held it down. Jamar Chase with 50 wasn't enough for Gillum to get the high score. And then he roasted Rory a little bit, which I see Rory every week. Always brings a smile to my face. Benny D, what's up?
What's up, fellas? Winner of the week video. I put up 170 on Rory's head. I think Rory had about 100 points entering Sunday Night Football, and then Jared Goff proceeds to throw 5 picks. So just a tough scene for him overall. Great win for me. 170, I'll take it. Even beat out Gillum, who had 55 with Jamar Chase, little bitch. Rory, you might want to warm up that shooting form for the punishment video, although you're still probably playing club basketball at Tech, so maybe you're not as washed as we think you might be. Yeah, just a fun week. I got Chase next week. I'm sitting at 5-5, which feels like 8-2 compared to where I was last year this time. Should be a fun stretch heading into the playoffs here. Just going to keep riding this good momentum, these good vibes, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Best of luck, boys. Let's go.
That made me laugh. I'm not going to lie, Ben. I was actually geeking. Yeah, huge win for you. 170 points. We'll get into it. We always get into it, don't we? But loser of the week. So we got a little surprise for you all. Because yes, Derek was the loser of the week. But there are people doubting Derek's ability to complete menial tasks. Such as setting his lineup. Such as sending the video when he loses. Such as responding to his friends' texts, Derek. Our second loser of the week. So, a nice little surprise. What do you have to say?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I come to you this week not as the official loser of the week, but considering Derek consistently fails to set his lineup on time and Kamish is always having to bug him about it, I figured I should step up and take the hit this week. Also because, quite frankly, I just deserve it from some terrible managerial performances recently. A few of them haven't cost me because of some talented guys on the roster, but I just cannot play the right guys. Probably going to play the wrong guys again this week. And when you're running up against the absolute freight train that is Galluminati, that's simply not going to work. So you might be seeing me again next week. I don't know. Ever since that 0-point performance out of Cortland Sutton a couple weeks ago, haven't been able to bring myself to put him in the lineup, but he's quickly becoming Bo Nix's favorite guy. DeAndre Hopkins, the 1 week he had 2 touchdowns, he was not in the starting lineup. Josh Downs probably due to regress now that Anthony Richardson, who couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat, is back in at quarterback. Nick Chubb projected for like 14 points this week. I don't know where that's coming from. Do they know something that I don't? Yeah, we're kind of in shambles over here, guys. Don't know at all who to play. I am not good at this. And we're gonna have a tough matchup this week too. So, Kamish, I'm not telling you who you should pick, but probably shouldn't be me.
I'm not gonna lie, fellas. Getting this unprompted video from Caleb cracked me up because I had to double check my math to make sure I could read correctly and make sure the site was working before I started watching it. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm not the loser of the week, but I don't believe in Derek. Derek, you're losing the league's faith. You gotta get your mind right, get mentally reset." Caleb, yes, your team did not look great this last week. I'll say it, but I still believe it's anyone's game, right? We're all alive in this. We're all alive. But now we'll hear from our real loser of the week, Derek. Again, what happened? 2 times in 3 weeks.
What's up, boys? Bad week for your boy again. Hate being loser of the week. 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Team morale is down right now. Sitting at 9th in the division or in the league. It was a rough week. Hats off to Levin. Got me twice this year. Never want to see that. Just gives him more ammunition to chirp. And, of course, lowest score of the week. Now I got to actually talk about it. That's all right. We're going to stand up and, point out what went wrong. You take a quick look at my lineup. It's clear where things went south. I mean, RB1, Saquon putting up 8. My RB2 this week, Jalen Warren, because Josh Jacobs was on a bye. That hurt, but he put up 9. And then my wide receiver 1, Garrett Wilson, putting up 9. And wide receiver 2, Brian Thomas, putting up 3 points. Also had DK on bye this week, so that didn't help. But, we're looking to bounce back next week. I got DK back in the lineup. Hopefully he's playing. He should be. And Josh Jacobs will be back in the lineup. Kyler on bye, still looking at the waivers here, see who we can pick up. Oh, God. Not a lot of good options. This week is going to be a struggle again, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I don't think I'll be loser of the week next week. But, yeah, season's not looking great. One more loss, might go into tank mode. Who knows?
Derek, yes, loser of the week by 0.4 to Caleb. I get the sweep on my son. Desperately needed that win. I was on a massive skid. I was on a 4 or 5 game losing streak. Get the sweep. There's no time to get a win better than when I'm playing my son. 135 to 102. Let's get into the matchups. Let's get into the predictions from last week. I don't know if any of you guys actually care about the predictions, but I care about the predictions. And I went 4-1 last week. Caleb and Ford, you were the only game I got wrong. 26-24 in the season. We've climbed our way back above 500 after a horrendous start. So give it up for me. Thank you. Okay. First game. Ben and Rory. This was a massive... Honestly, every game's a massive game at this point. Everyone is either fighting for a bye, fighting for a playoff spot, or fighting to not get last place. So Ben and Rory, this game was not close at all. 170 to 104. That's one of the biggest blowouts we've had all year. 64 points. And it's tough sledding when you start a guy who throws 4 interceptions on Sunday Night Football. And especially because Mahomes won Rory his game last week. Against me, nonetheless, benches him. Wouldn't have mattered. Wouldn't have made a difference. Ben's team really balled out. 170 points is a lot of points. And that's with his kicker getting 0, which is crazy. So his kicker got 0. Devonta Adams had 9. Everyone else was double digits. And then Chuba had 24. Bijan had 29. Joe Burrow had 33. So he does have the 3 quarterbacks, and he's been right the last 2 weeks. Good on you, Ben. Rory, on the other hand, James Conner had 22. No one else broke 20. And then he had 5 people in single digits. His kicker, Justin Tucker, who's obviously washed at this point. 49ers defense with 4. DeAndre Swift with 7. Goff with 7. Swift, I have cause for concern as someone who used to have Swift in another league. He really gets it going when the Bears have a positive game script, and the Bears have just fallen off a cliff, and all the wheels are coming off. So I'd be concerned about Swift for the rest of the year if I was Najee Nation. hopefully you get Nico Collins back. You need him back badly. Marvin Harrison on the bench was 16. You never play him when he does well. You always sit him when he does well. You always sit him when he does well. You play him when he does bad. That's the Marvin Harrison Jr. experience. 5-5. Benny D, Rory, 3-7. Sole possession of last place with 4 weeks to go. Okay, Sam and Steele. So Sam said that Steele used devil magic. I don't know if that's the case or if Sam just started Aaron Rodgers, who is old. But I don't think he thinks that's it because he's starting him again this week. Young Hui missed like 3 field goals, which was crazy to see. CeeDee Lamb obviously dropped that touchdown because Jerry Jones likes to blind all of his players. His value has taken a significant dip with Dak going down. Kareem Hunt has been great. Has been a great fill-in for Pacheco while he's been healing. I shouldn't drop Chase Brown. He's been awesome since Zach Moss hit the IR. And then Tony Pollard and Lions defense both with 10 points. So 121, fairly middle of the pack scoring normally. Not enough to get it done. I think it was bottom half this week. And Steele gets it done with 126. So Steele's like last in scoring, high in points for. He's somehow 5-5. He managed to go 4-5 without CMC. So like pretty good, I'd say, all things considering. You're in 6th place. You're in the playoff picture. And that's been without your first overall pick for the whole season. And that's, again, I think he took Laporta because he has him. I don't think he traded for him. Yeah, he drafted him in the 4th round. So, 2 of your picks have been misses and you're still 5-5. That's a testament to either 1, your luck, 2, your devil magic, or 3, your ability to manage the waiver wire. So, Steele gets the win, 126 points, was led by Lamar with 32. The difference here was the kicker. Jake Bates had 13 and Young Hui had 1. That's 12 is more than 4, and this was a 4-point game. So that was the difference. Steele gets the win. Both those teams were 4-5, so that was a pretty big matchup. Steele 5-5, 6th place. Sam drops to 4-6. He had 1 Jared last week. He's got the 2nd Jared this week. So big matchups ahead. Ford and Caleb, another pretty low scoring matchup, 127 to 102. Ford, I said it. I said somehow not this last week, evidently, because I picked against him. It was my one game I got wrong. But I did say Ford's going to find a way to get it done. Something about the dumpster fire this year, and he found a way. Tyrone Tracy off the waivers has been unbelievable for him. That's been a great pickup. Wan'Dale Robinson, that's pretty crazy. He was projected for 10.1. He got 10.1. You don't see that often. Ladd underperformed. George Pickens has been great. Joe Mixon's awesome. Breece Hall's been a pretty big disappointment from a fantasy perspective. I'll say it. I know some people are thinking it, but he's drafted as the RB2 right after CMC. He's sitting at the RB8, and they haven't had their bye yet. So 9, 10, and 12 the last 3 weeks is not what you want. But the Jets offense currently looks horrible. Caleb, 102, almost the lowest score. Obviously, the defense was the biggest issue here. The Ravens' defense against Baltimore netted him -1 points. You never want to see a negative number on any of your positions. Josh Downs, who unfortunately Anthony Richardson is back, so I'm assuming his fantasy value will be tanked a little bit. He was led in scoring by Scary Terry with 16, and then his recently acquired Cooper Kupp, and then Josh Downs with 14, Kyle Pitts only with 9, Chase McLaughlin with 7. So Jane Daniels did disappoint from a fantasy perspective against the Steelers. Steelers are a really good team. They got, 3 rushing touchdowns scored, no touchdowns for Jaden Daniels. That's something that, I think you can live with as a Commies fan, but obviously from a fantasy perspective, he's cooled off a little bit since the super hot start. Obviously, the week before he had that Hail Mary against the Bears, so that put him in 19, but before that he was around 12. So, besides that one play, 12-8 the last couple weeks, he's got Philly this week on Thursday night, so that's going to be a good game. I'm excited to watch that. But, yes, both these teams sit at 5-5 now. Ford in 3rd, Caleb in 4th. This was the first place game. Chase and Gillum. Chase was the 2nd highest scorer, but he unfortunately played the highest score. That's the way it goes sometimes. 136 to 161. The game candidly was over on Thursday when Jamar scored 55. That's just how it goes. You score 55. One of your players scores 55, you normally win. Jalen with 30, Jamar with 55, Austin Eckler with 18, James Cook with 15, Kyron with 11, and then Kate Otten was meh. Zay Flowers didn't have a great game. Bears defense surprisingly disappointed against the Patriots, only with 3 points. Chase, on the other hand, 136. Like I said, he was the 2nd highest scorer this week. Really, the only position he was actually let down by, I would say, was his kicker with only 4 points. Chiefs with 7, Keenan Allen with 9. Tyreek, I guess, has been very disappointing with 11. Kelsey has had a resurgence. He's had 20 points the last 3 weeks. Shakir's been solid. Another guy who I dropped. Calvin Ridley obviously had an awesome week last week. He's been, I think, actually a very decent receiver. Since D-Hop left, 22, 12, and 25 for Calvin Ridley. So that's pretty good. Derrick Henry with 14. You want more out of the RB1, but they didn't really need him. Lamar was balling. So Ramondre with 8. That's disappointing. Not really anything you can do. You had a 55 burger from Jamar hung on your head. So you take the L there. You take it on the chin. You're still 7-3. You're in second place, comfortably in the playoff picture at this point. I don't know why that did that. But Gillum, running away with it. He's eyeing that first place at the end of the regular season. He's eyeing it. So good win. Me and Derek, I think I verbalized enough that I really needed this win, and I really didn't want to lose to Derek. I did not really have anyone go off, but everyone was just solid for me. 135 points. I was the third highest scorer. Vikings defense was awesome with 15. My kicker, I finally got some action out of with 8 points. Montgomery got in the end zone. Kamara, who dropped the 70-yard walk-in touchdown at the end. I don't know if anyone watched that. That sucked. I started Gesicki on Thursday. The other tight end scored, which kind of sucked. Juwan Jennings looked really good. Got a lot of targets. Amon-Ra with 18. JT, honestly, I'm pumped that Anthony Richardson is back because Jonathan Taylor is better when the quarterback is mobile. So I'm pumped for that. And then Bucky Irving looked really good. I've been very happy with the Bucky pickup. I'm pumped to get Cedric Tillman back off of bye. I freaking love that guy. He's Jameis's favorite target. And then Kirk disappointed a little bit. So we're pivoting to Justin Herbert moving forward. But we can't seem to find a good quarterback. I guess that's what happens when you take Anthony Richardson in the 6th round. I knew it was risky when I did it. I'd do it all over again, just for the thrill of it. No, I wouldn't. That was a horrible move. But yes, that was a must-win for me. I'm 4-6. I'm in 8th place. Derek also 4-6, 9th place. So we are 1 game up on Rory for that last place. But candidly, 4 games left. Everyone's alive. We've seen people get in the playoffs at 6 and 8. It can happen. But obviously, you want to win every week. So that's that. Let's do standings. I'll take a pause, and then I'll go into next week so we don't lose the video. So Gillum, sole place first, 8-2. Chase, 7-3. Then we have a 2-game gap. So then we have Ford, Caleb, Ben, Steele. So that's the playoff picture. That's the top 6. And then we have 3 guys at 4-6, which is Sam, me, Derek. And then we have Najee Nation bringing up the rear. So big matchups. Obviously, I think Rory feels he is in must-win mode. And I think everyone will agree with him that he needs to put together a few wins here. I don't want to rebound. I said I would rebound for him. I really don't want to, but I would. We go to the points 4. The first 4 line up perfectly, so good on you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys are all in the right spot. Sam is in 7th, but he is next, and then me in 8th, and then there's Ben, who has 4 points less than me, and then actually Rory, and then Derek, and Steele is the only one who hasn't topped 1,200 points so far this year. So he's sitting at 5-5. He gets away with it. Maybe it is the double magic that Sam's talking about. Him and the Chiefs are on the same wave. And that's the standings. So let me pause real quick, and then I'll get the box scores up, and we'll do some predictions. Apologies again, fellas. We just did last week. We did the standings. I got pulled into another trade deal. I know it's my other league. I'm going to tell you about it anyway. I got Bijan and JJ on the squad tonight, so I'm pretty pumped. I'm not going to just send my other team, but if you're curious, I'd love to just go through all of them. So hit me up if you want to hear about these trades, because I love trading. It's always fun. Okay. This week, week 11, like I said, massive week. A lot of really good matchups. Like I said before, most of these teams have played each other previously. So the first matchup we have is Ford and Steele. This is the one matchup where people have not played each other. Steele is about a 4-point favorite, which I think this is the first time he's really been a favorite all year. So pretty crazy. We got CMC back, projected for 140. I accidentally clicked the wrong button, and now I have to refresh everything. And oh my God, things are happening. Okay. No one on bye this week for either team, which is pretty surprising because it's a pretty big bye week. Very curious what Ford is going to do with his second flex. He has Madison in him right now. Keon Coleman's not going to play. It's either Madison or Jalen Waddle at this point. The Tyrone Tracy pickup is frankly like saving Ford's season. That was a massive. Why is it showing this? What is going on? I'm an idiot. Tyrone Tracy's on bye this week. I was like, obviously he's in Ford's lineup. He's not because he's on bye. That was silly of me. I've been doing fantasy football stuff for freaking forever. I've literally been sitting at my desk doing fantasy football stuff, I think, for like 2.5 hours now. So we're going to get through this. We're going to power through. Steele. Vikings basically a third of his team, J.J. Aaron Jones and Hawkinson, going up against Tennessee, whose defense is actually pretty good this week. Lamar, QB1 on the year. Tank Dell's been pretty disappointing. Rome Odunze's been pretty disappointing. You don't have Laporta this week, which candidly Steele's, I think, been throwing out the double tight end option sometimes, which makes sense given his roster. And then he's even got Hunter Henry, got 3 tight ends. So Javonte Williams, his value's kind of fallen off a cliff with the emergence of Audric Estime. I don't know how to say his name, but that's what we're going with. This is a massive game. Both these teams are 5-3, or both these teams are 5-5 in third and sixth place. Man. I think Steele is going to win, but I'm going to pick Ford because I want Ford to win. Love you, Ford. That's my gift to you because you're doing the marathon this weekend. Ford's going to win. It's marathon weekend. Everyone make sure we give Ford a round of applause when he finishes Saturday. Okay. Derek and Rory. Derek has set his lineup. I only had to text him like 10 times, but he has set his lineup. Malik Neighbors on bye, Kyler on bye, so we got Jameis off the waivers. He's about an 11-point dog here. These two teams have played before. In week 2, when Derek was the winner of the week, he won 157 to 123. We'll do Derek's first. Like I said, he's 11-point dog. Jameis filling in for Kyler, Saquon, Garrett Wilson, Josh Jacobs, Brian Thomas. That's tough. I was trying to get him to trade me Brian Thomas, and now I'm happy that he didn't because his value's fallen off a cliff with him having the rib injury, and then Mac Jones is now the starter. And if anyone knows Mac Jones, I know Mac Jones. I hate Mac Jones. DK is awesome. I had a trade lined up with Derek. I didn't pull the trigger because I wanted to wait till after we played. Should have done it. Why does he keep doing that? My bad. Yeah, DK's sick. Amari is probably not going to play. He's been hurt. So we'll see if he doesn't play and Derek remembers to plug someone else in. I'll probably have to remind him like I normally do. But he has more wins than Rory. We have the same record, so who am I to talk? Rory's side. He's going with Goff over Mahomes, which is interesting given what I guess it's against Jacksonville, so I guess that makes sense. Rory's really been hurting at QB all year. That's been his weak point. Swift, that's going to be a rough game for him. Dobbins, that'll probably be a good game. A.J. Brown's going to have a great game Thursday. Love that NFC Beast matchup. Darnell Mooney's been solid. Ingram, obviously, Mac Jones affects him too. And then he finally gets Nico Collins back. Najee didn't practice today, but, I mean, he's going to play. It's Baltimore week. He has not dropped Justin Tucker, who's officially washed. I'm dubbing it. Man. This is tough. I think Derek's going to win. I think Derek's going to take this. And not because, Jared, it's Najee, you're hating on Najee. It's because of, I don't think DeAndre Swift is going to score more than 8 points. And your QB is going to kill you. That's what I think, Rory. I don't care if that upsets you. I care a little bit because I care for you greatly. But, man, that's going to be tough if Rory loses. It's going to be like 2 games back. Actually, 1 game back, guaranteed, because either me or Sam's going to lose. So, disregard that. Okay, Chase and Ben. This is a winning record, a 500 winning record matchup, so that's a good matchup. 7-3, 5-5. Chase won the first time they played in week 3, 117 to 102, so it's low scoring. Hope maybe Ben gets T. Higgins back finally. He hasn't played since week 7 because like a quad pull, but he's been really good when he's played. Debo and Kittle have been obviously very solid. Quentin Johnson getting the start. He's been actually very good. Outside of he got hurt in Denver and then he missed the 2 games. 22-10 in the last 2 weeks. He's been Herbert's guy, which is crazy because he looked horrible his rookie year. Honestly, Rashad White had a little bit of a resurgence. Obviously, he's on bye this week, but 29, 15, 12, 19 over the past 4 weeks. Chuba's been the RB6 on the year, so Ben's team, every year I'm like, oh, I like Ben's team. I like Ben's team, except for Jerome Ford. I don't like Jerome Ford. But you don't have anyone else because Chuba and Rashad are on bye. So maybe Ben picks up another running back off waivers. Maybe he makes a trade. Let me see who's on waivers. He's not going to pick up another running back off waivers because it's either Tank Bigsby or Rashawn Johnson. So it's probably going to be Jerome Ford. Maybe he goes with Cam Akers. That's a tough scene for his RB2. That's very tough. That's going to be hard to overcome. Chase, second place, 7-3. Always finds a way to get it done, even though he lost Diggs. Purdy's QB8 looks great. Derrick Henry obviously is awesome. Ramondre's fine. Tyreek's looked horrible. He's wide receiver 30 on the year. He got in the end zone last week, and then the celebration with OBJ. Calvin Ridley, I think you guys know at this point that I'm a hater at my core. I love hating on things, and I was a huge hater on Calvin Ridley. He's looked really good since D-Hop left, 22, 12, and 25. He's clearly the wide receiver 1 down there in Tennessee. Travis Kelce, I was hating on him too. He's looked great the past 3 weeks, 25, 22, and 20. He gets Brian Robinson Jr. back. That's massive. And then he's got Khalil Shakir, which is pretty good given he doesn't have a lot of depth. So I'm surprised. Maybe he goes the double tight end stack. Maybe plugs in Mark Andrews. But I feel like Shakir's been actually pretty solid. He's a wide receiver 20. So Shakir, I feel like, gives you that very solid floor that you want out of your second flex. He's had at least 10 points in every game except one this whole season, which is really good. Dang, why did I drop him? That was dumb of me. Whatever. Another mistake little old Jared made. I'm going to pick Chase. If it wasn't for Ben's RB2 situation, I'd be picking Ben. But, you're starting Cleveland's second running back, who, candidly, wasn't very good even when he was the starter this season. And that's that. All right, Caleb and Gil. This is probably the best matchup on paper this week. Caleb, 5-5. Gil, 8-2. They played already, like I said, week 3, 163 to 112 in Gil's favor. His team's been on fire this whole year. He's 8-2 for a reason. People are saying, his points against, but he's got the most points in the league. He deserves to be in first place. Jalen's been balling. Kyron basically needs to find the end zone, but he's still been very good. James Cook's very solid. Jamar Chase is wide receiver 1. Obviously, he had 55 last week. Devontae's been so hit or miss. We don't know if he's going to have Kincaid this week. I don't know if he practiced today. He did not practice in the walkthrough today, so that's something to monitor. Maybe he plugs in Cole Kmet or just Kate Otton's on waivers, or Kate Otten is on bye, so might be struggling at tight end this week, and he gets JSN off of his bye. Dolphins defense against Vegas, that's probably a good play. We go to the other side of the matchup. We go Caleb's team, starting with Jaden on Thursday night. Gibbs, got to have a big game against Jacksonville. A-Kane, you love to have him back, and then Scary Terry and Cooper Kupp. You get Kenneth Walker back from bye. You get D-Hop, another guy who I dropped. Sam also dropped, apparently. Yeah. And, okay, I drafted him. Chase picked him up and dropped him. Sam picked him up and dropped him. Caleb now has him. Interesting. So, I think Caleb's whole thing was he was so RB heavy, he traded me JT for Cooper Kupp. Sutton has been awesome the past couple weeks, surprisingly. I think you guys know I hate Cortland Sutton because he's burned me so many times. 17, 23, and 19 the last 3 weeks. Obviously, he had the zero burger against New Orleans. That was a crazy game, but he's been very solid the last couple weeks. Not sure if he's going to plug him in. We got Austin Seibert on the IR. That's crazy. We're rostering an injured kicker, but Caleb's 5-5. I'm 4-6. Who am I to judge, huh? And then we got Kyle Pitts. Not rostering Tucker Kraft anymore. I think Sam picked him up. I was surprised to see him hit the waivers, but you got to make room for that injured kicker. So I get it. I'm picking Caleb here. A little upset pick. Keep things spicy. Keep the chase for that first seat alive for everyone. Not for me. I'm not anywhere close to that. But if he loses out and I win out, crazier things have happened, right? Rory got in at 6-8. Why not me? Okay, me and Sam. I'm actually projected for the most points this week, which never seems right, candidly, because I'm 4-6 in an 8th place. Sam is also 4-6, but he has more points than me. So Sam basically did a victory lap when he got Puka back, and then CD's quarterback got hurt, and then Drake London had a hit pointer, and Trey McBride's on bye this week, and he's not starting Jaden Reed. And he's rostering 2 kickers. So a lot of interesting things going on Sam's roster side right now. We did play previously. I had one in week 2, 156 to 143, and Sam said, "Oh, you got lucky. You had your best week of the year." Well, Sam, Let me see if you were correct on that. You were. That was my best week of the year. So maybe I'll have my best week again this year. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so you look at my team. Basically, all of my first picks did not pan out. Amon-Ra and Kamara are good. Obviously, DJ Moore was a miss at this point. Travis Etienne's obviously a miss. And then I think I took Anthony Richardson, who I dropped like 6 weeks ago. So we're fighting out here, though. We're fighting out here. Dave Montgomery was a good late-round pick. Good to have JT on the team. We're happy to get Herbert off the waivers. Cedric Tillman, that guy is awesome. People are sleeping on Cedric Tillman. You can't sleep on Cedric Tillman. I'm really hopeful for the Vikings defense against Tennessee this week. I've been very excited for this matchup. But Sam does have the Lions defense against Jacksonville. That's a really good matchup for them too, and their defense is really good. Sam's team looks pretty good on paper. He's really hurting at QB. He really needed Dak to have his MVP season, and he hasn't. So he's rolling with Rodgers this week. We'll see if he ends up subbing them out for someone else. I don't know if he's going to. I think I'll probably stick with him because the Colts defense is pretty bad. He gets Kareem Hunt for at least one more week. Pacheco was activated off IR. Sam offered me Kareem Hunt for David Montgomery straight up. Nah, no thanks. CD obviously takes a hit, like I said. Puka's been great. Tucker Kraft has been very good. Like I said, I was surprised Caleb dropped him. And then Brandon Aubrey, the best kicker, but we'll see how much the Cowboys offense can move the ball, move the chains. I'm going to manifest myself a victory here because I can't afford another loss frequently. And I don't want to shoot 1,000 three-pointers. But again, I apologize. It's coming out so late. I'm wrapping up recording at around 11 right now. So I'll get this published to you ASAP. Hit the waivers, make some trades, keep the chat active. And if you want to hear about my exquisite deals in the other league, text me individually. But other than that, appreciate you guys as always.